This is the plaintiff, Maddie. She says she parked her car on the street and it was towed. She went to court and fought the ticket and it was dismissed. She was towed because she parked in front of someone's driveway. But as it turns out, the defendant's driveway is illegal and the man had no right getting her car towed. She's suing for $5,006.76. For all, she's now out. This is the defendant, Joel. He says he bought his house 13 years ago, and the driveway was already there. He doesn't like having to call the cops on people, but this woman parked for 5 days blocking his driveway, so he had her car towed. Bottom line, the cops ticketed her car. It was towed, and he has no responsibility to pay the plaintiff anything, let alone $5,000. He's accused of causing a parking predicament. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $500 for aggravation.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Molinos is presiding. Litigants have been affirmed, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Ms. Maddie, you are suing Mr. Joel for $5,006.76 in damages that you say you are out because he has an illegal parking curb and got you towed. All right, talk to me and tell me what happened.
I was parked not directly in front of his house. His house is 15, I was parked in front of 17. Maybe just 6 inches going towards his curb. That's it. It wasn't until 2 days later when I was going back to work, I noticed my car was missing. I had to get to work, I had to open my store, and the next day, of course, I went to the precinct. I didn't know if it was stolen or what. At the precinct, I was told, no, your car was towed.
And so what'd you do?
The next day, I went and got it from the tow. I also had a ticket. And I said, wait a minute, there's no driveway there. How could I get a ticket for parking in the driveway? So I went, a couple of days later, I went to the building department, looked up the blueprint, and sure enough, Your Honor, I have the proof. There's no driveway there. And that's it. That's where I'm at.
This seems to be a recurring problem in the boroughs of New York.
Yes, it is. Parking is
Parking is an issue, and according to you, this one's illegal. I'm going to find out now what he has and his side of the story, but I'm getting case after case like this where people are creating their own parking space without going through the legal ramifications of having to do so, where you have to get a permit and you have to be approved, and they may not approve you because it's so busy in the area, which is why you're trying to get your, pave your front yard and get that parking space because it's so busy. So it's like this crazy. All right, so you have some pictures that you've provided me. What is this a picture of?
I guess the defendant's car.
Which one? The one that's in the center?
Yes.
And then somebody else is blocking that driveway then?
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Is that some other car from your house? Yeah. Oh, I guess you make 2 parking spaces out of that. You have the one on your land, and then people are afraid because it probably says no. Does it say no parking or no?
No.
No. Does the cement slant down?
No. I don't know exactly. No, actually, I have a better picture over here.
Looks like there's a curb. Do you have to drive over the curb to get your car in?
It's like 1.5 inches high, or maybe 2 inches high.
Right. So is this a legal parking space that you have etched out for yourself?
Listen, it's not something that I etched out for myself. I bought this house 13 years ago, and this is exactly how it's been since I moved in there.
Did you pour the concrete in front of that house?
Nope.
So the person before you did?
The person before me, the house came with it.
The house came with it, so you assume somebody before you did.
Yeah, so some of the evidence that I provided to the court was from 13 years ago, an appraisal that was done on the house, and it says there's a driveway there. And when I bought the house, the real estate agent writing that there was a driveway there as well. So it's not something that's new. It's something that's been there for many, many years. And I guess it's a new problem, also people doing it, but I don't know if what...
Has this issue come up, like people
Never.
have been complaining or something?
Nobody-
Have you ever had to tow anybody before?
No, I never had to tow anybody
Do you even have a
before.
no parking sign there?
No, it's a driveway.
And there's a I know, but so if I'm driving there and I see it's cement in front of your house where you're parking your car. But if I'm not seeing the curb cut that the city puts in, and I'm seeing an actual 2-inch curb in front of your house, I'm thinking, well, bully for him that he's found a place to put his car, but I need a place to put my car because I got to go to work or I got to go to wherever.
So the curb, the way it works is, besides for the driveway, it's about 6 feet high. It's 6 inches high. Where my driveway is, it's only like an inch and a half.
When you say that, it's an inch and a. First of all, if it was a real driveway, it would be completely flat, right?
I don't know that.
Well,
I mean,
you
this is the first time in 13 years that anybody parked.
But what does your survey say? Like, in other words, it does. I hear you. Oh, when they sold it to me, they said that, and I have an appraiser that walks in, looks, and says, and says that. But what does this? When this case happened, and you got a lawsuit, did you go down to the city to see what it says?
I didn't because I just thought it was nuts. Nobody ever parked in front of my driveway before, and to me, this is a legal driveway. So for me,
now,
the
did you
whole
call
case,
the cops and the cops gave her a ticket?
So I called the cops. I asked them, what am I supposed to do? Somebody's blocking my driveway, and it's not 6 inches. It's more like 25 to 30% of my driveway was blocked. So if somebody would park on the other side, I wouldn't be able to get out.
So you call the police to come and give her a ticket when
didn't.
she's 25% blocking because you're worried that someone else is going to park.
I called the police department 4 to 5 days after leaving it there because I don't like.
So tell me, wait, how many days was the car there?
4 to 5 days.
How long was your car there?
2-3 days the most.
Why though? Why was it 2 or 3 days?
Your Honor, back then.
Do you live in the area?
Yes, we have
Okay.
a home there.
And then when you parked, did you?
There was no car. No, I parked in the afternoon, early afternoon.
So you didn't see, like you didn't look to your left and see anything. You didn't see anything yellow on the bottom. You didn't
No,
see. You saw a
nothing.
curb, so you thought you had a good space.
Your Honor, those are road houses. They don't have driveways.
So what happened to the ticket?
It was dismissed.
Do you have the dismissal?
Yes, I do.
Did you go to the town and to the town? It's really Manhattan, right? Is who has
Yes,
these records?
yes.
And did you go to the government and see whether this was a legal
Yeah.
driveway or an illegal driveway?
Yes.
Without authority?
Here you go, Your Honor. Here's
Okay,
the
hand me
ticket.
those things.
Here's the ticket dismissed.
Okay, it couldn't be clearer that it's not dismissing it on the merits, that it's dismissing it because it's illegible. So that doesn't help us. But that doesn't decide the case for me either. Where's the actual survey from the government that shows that he doesn't have a parking?
Oh,
Yeah.
and I believe I gave you from the
Okay.
building department.
Just a
where it
second, just a
says-
second, just a second. There's so much handwriting on everything that I don't know what's you talking to me and what's the building department.
I'm sorry,
How
Your
did you
Honor.
get your hands on this?
From the building department.
Who's doing all the handwriting? Because that's not normal for them to write on it. Whose handwriting is this?
My sisters.
Court is in recess.
People's Court is back in session.
All right. I wanted to take a moment to make sure that these records were legit because, you deserve that. And I'm looking at where people have a legitimate auto space. And not only that, at some point you called the city, did you not? And complained about him calling this a parking space.
Yes, I did call the police, and I said to them, I can't believe that I got a ticket and my car was towed when I was parked legally.
Right. And I don't know when you called the building inspector and when they went out. Oh, yeah, I do know. 3 months later, they go out. And at the precise moment when they go, they don't see your car, so you didn't get a violation. However, what the building department says is no violation warranted for complaint at time of inspection, no curb cut, driveway, or parked vehicle observed at the time. So the city itself is saying that you have no curb cut. The survey that she got from the city is saying you have no curb cut. You made a statement earlier that the realtor sold it to you that way. Do you have any evidence of that?
That's one of the evidence I gave you. And
Which is what? The realtor's listing or what?
The listing of the realtor,
Yeah.
that it states on the bottom over there that there's a driveway.
Hold on one second. It says parking space, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
On the bottom. It's not a parking space. It needs to be made legal. You need to actually get a permit for it and then have the city cut the curb, right? Because they're the ones who do it. And it's just not. See, here's where the problem lies. You know, we're looking at a curb that's a couple of inches big. That's their first kind of clue that this was made up, because that's not what the city has been doing for decades and decades and decades. They do a cut that is smooth so that your car isn't driving over a 2-inch curb, okay? So I think we know. I think we know when it's row houses and there's not an alley. I think we know. You know, and I'm kind of getting tired of that side getting duped in this regard. And, you know, and then on the other hand, you get a ticket for it. Mm-hmm. Which is nuts that you get the ticket for it. And there's actually, you know, because I've had so many of these cases, I've looked up and read that there's actually a councilman who's sick of this too. I don't know, he must have gotten a ticket or something. But he's actually got a great idea, which is to have a database of what's legal and what's not. Because the cops don't know. They're like, yeah, it looks like a driveway. Then they issue you a ticket. That's so unfair to you. Mm-hmm. And if everybody, all these row houses start doing that, all of a sudden it's a whole block you can't park in that you should be able to park in. And if you go and then apply for it, they may say, no, congestion's too bad. So you have no incentive to apply for it and to say, hey, I need to know. Because if they tell you, no, it's not, now you got no park. So, you know, at the end of the day, she's shown me enough evidence where the burden shifts to you, you know. She's given me, you know, everything that she needs to give me to show me that it is not a government-sanctioned parking space, you know, and I don't see why she should be out the tow charge. I mean, she's not going to get $5,000. I mean, what's this about? $3,000 potential loss of business and $1,500 for mental anguish. Tell me all about that.
Time I took off from work to do my research, to get my car
Apparently, your
out.
sister's doing all the research.
My sister is my right hand.
Yeah, clearly. But no, you don't get that. You don't turn a $168.76 case into a $5,000 case over that. You have a counterclaim against her for $500 for aggravation?
Basically, yes.
Yeah, 0 on that, I can tell you. And with everything that she has presented to me, because she really has presented a ton of evidence, I'm not going to watch her eat the 168 because everybody's always been acting like you have your own ability to park there and stop others from blocking you. I don't think it's appropriate to do that, and I'm going to order you to pay her for the tow, even though the police gave her the ticket. So only because I'm looking at it and it's very clear that it doesn't look like you have a parking space. And only because I think you know that you don't, even though it got marketed that way, because you know you're driving over a curb to get there. Verdict for the plaintiff, $168.76.
So the plaintiff wins the case. She doesn't get $5,000. She got $160-some. Joel, let me just ask you, I think you've learned something from this whole experience, haven't you?
Well, number one, I have to figure out how to make this driveway legal. I have to find out exactly if it is illegal or isn't. It seems like it's not. So it's something that I will be looking into.
All right, sir. Well, good luck to you. I guess you're going to have to go to the city and work on this. But it'd be worth your while to do it.
Thank you.
Right? Thank you. There you go. All right. Now, if Maddie, who is the plaintiff in this case, you know, you're to be congratulated. You did a lot of research. Good for you. How much time did you spend researching and working on this?
Hours.
Are you glad? Do you think it was worthwhile now?
I thought the judge was a little unfair. I should have gotten back some of the hours I lost at work.
Maybe it's a moral victory. Look at it that way, right?
That's it. Thank you.
All right. Good luck. Congratulations, and good luck for all the work you did.
Doug, couple of things. One is that a contractor has a duty to make sure that when that contractor does work, it is in compliance with the law. The other thing you should know is it is always a good idea, especially if it's a big job, to hire a licensed contractor because A, they've been tested, and B, usually they'll have a bond that you could use if they do something wrong.
What can I do in the state of South Carolina to get my property manager and the corporate owners of the property to fix or replace my air conditioner? They send a maintenance employee out, but after a few days it's broken again. I pay my rent on time every month. Can I withhold my rent until this is fixed without getting evicted? Or can I have someone fix it and show the receipt for the repair or replacement? What do you think?
Well, I think that what you have to do is create a record,
Right.
because you're going to be asked about this no matter what you end up doing. You have to justify what you did. So I would give them at least 3 shots.
Right, to fix it.
And if
Right.
after 3 shots it's definitely not getting fixed, then I would hire a different AC guy,
Right.
and that person would charge me, whatever it is. Let's say it's $300, and I would withhold the $300 from whichever entity gets my rent.
Right.
So I would deduct from next month's rent the $300 I had to pay,
Right.
along with a note that
Right.
explains
I
that
gave you the opportunities to
I
fix
gave you 3
it.
opportunities. I've had to stay at
Right.
home and wait
It's
for a
110
repairman.
degrees
So I
outside.
cannot do this, and so I've paid
Right.
somebody. Now the problem is solved.
Right.
Now there are no further issues, and you want to make sure that if you're doing that there are no further issues.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you spend the money and then it didn't solve it either,
Right.
then you might have newer issues with them about getting them to let you deduct it. So,
Right.
so hopefully it solves the issue.